but getting rid of the dad bods. Watch out.
What's up, guys? I don't know if you can hear me, but we are impromptu live on the underground in Milan, cruising from a coffee tasting that we've just been to now with Patrick Rolf from April. Probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in coffee.
Solidly, like great coffee, great service, good conversation, great pastry.
Yeah, the pastries we had combined with the coffee we had was just insane. What's up, guys? Yo, it's loud. Anyway, Steve-O, where are we going now, dude?
So we're heading to host, just to taste the coffee. We have a session with the guys from Victoria Arduino, and then at 11, not 11, later,
1.
At 1, I have my tea bar, me making coffee with Team Steve. I thought it's Team Steve, but it's not. Anyway, so that's the vibe, man.
Cool. So yeah, yesterday we were running around grabbing all kinds of stuff. We got some milk, we got some in fact we got some milk over here, frozen, ready to go. So freeze distillation. Super confident in that. We have 3 different coffees to taste, 3 different batches, and yeah, we're pumped, man. It's going to be a good time. So yeah, guys, we will continue communicating, send questions, we'll let you know how the coffee's tasting, and thanks for all the support. It's been unreal. You guys are legends. Ciao.
This is lot E3, and the processing is what they call a cool aerobic natural. What this means is after the writer's chairs were handpicked, they were placed inside breathable bags for 60 hours and then placed inside subterranean cement tank that is lined with plastic. And this controls the temperature at around 15 degrees Celsius. The long contact time allows for slow intracellular fermentation with the bean, resulting in a more complex acidity and sweetness, texture and sweetness, sorry. And then, very important, not to compromise the clarity of this incredible variety.
Steve-O, what a time to be alive, bro.
What a time indeed, man.
That's been the theme of your sort of set this weekend.
Yeah.
And yeah, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Where are we?
So we're in Milan, Italy, for the World Barista Championship 2021.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, we're at a huge festival, well, not festival, it's a conference called Milano. Through like kilometers of stuff.
Yeah.
Just like everything you can imagine. I mean, we just come from the Mod Bar and Lamazocca booth. It's like every machine manufacturer is represented here. And we're already in the coffee section. I think there's, like for context, back at home, like if we use a Coca-Cola dome as context, it's probably like 40 Coca-Cola domes.
It's many domes.
So right now, more specifically, we're sitting on the floor in front of the stage of the World Barista Champs with a camera on a short tripod on top of luggage, talking to you guys. It's been a manic ride. This whole process sort of started 3 weeks ago. I remember getting home from the Roastery and I had a voice note from Steve-O, and I listened to the voice notes and he's like telling me about a whole bunch of stuff, and then he's like, oh, and I just found out that I can compete at World Barista Champs in Milan. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Put the phone down, Googled it, and I was like, wow, it's like the 23rd of October. That's like in 3 weeks time. So yeah, hence we sped up the program a little bit. And yeah, how did it all play out? How did this happen?
Yeah, man. So yeah, for those who don't know, I think obviously it's short time and had to make it happen. I was like, well, It's kind of some people go through their entire career not having this opportunity to compete for it, and it doesn't happen. So I felt like, well, it's an opportunity. It's not the perfect opportunity, but it is a opportunity, and I'm definitely going to take it. And I think with, obviously had to have some support, many years, and maybe some of you will have part of that. So that's incredible. But I think, obviously, like you guys coming on board in terms of like, we have a coffee and you'll share a bit about it, I'm sure. And then also just coming along, because I know I can't do it alone. So many things happening backstage that's so important, so vital, and one person cannot do it. Like, it's impossible. It's not recommended.
I can't even imagine what it would be like if you tried to do this alone. We arrived on Friday morning, like super early. We had a completely sleepless night on the way here. The trip started off a lot of fun. Like, took off from Joburg, good vibes. Got to Addis, Ethiopia, like feeling really good. We chatted the whole way from Joburg to Addis, like non-stop, and that was awesome. And then I think we just went off a cliff in Addis where we had a beer, which was like a bad move, I think, because my energy levels just went. And then could not get to sleep on the aeroplane. So Andrea Allen, Team Steve. Yeah, so anyway, we got to Italy, we made it here, €100 taxi ride from the airport.
Good vibes.
We felt like ballers though, because it was an E-Class Merc, like a black E-Class Merc, so like it was pretty cool.
I did feel, for a second we were like, is this the mafia? Are they waiting for us? I don't know.
So yeah, we got here. We realized very quickly that we didn't have access to an espresso machine or grinder. A huge thank you to Alessandro from Marico and to George from Equipment Cafe. Those two guys have tried to do everything that they can to make this all possible and to make give us access to what we need. So thanks guys, we appreciate it so much. I know like Steve-O has had ridiculous support from home, and for me personally I was just stoked to be in a position where I could just leave for 10 days and come and support, and we had a coffee available, so it's been a hell of a process. It's been a lot of fun. So I think just to talk about the coffee quickly, I think that's pertinent. We had sourced a rarities lot from Geisha Village, a cold aerobic fermentation, long fermentation, 60 hours, very clean, very sweet. We're just going to release it to our audience, and we delayed it, thankfully, because when Steve-O was looking for a coffee, we had it available. So the timeline was super tight though, like try to get some samples done and then get like the first few batches going, and amazingly, like sometimes I just, you have intuition about certain things, and I wanted to approach this coffee in a certain way, and batch 1 was the batch that we ended up using on stage, We
tasted all 3 batches, and batch 1 was just the best one. Really focusing and I want to say celebrating the good qualities of the coffee, like clean, great texture, and that's what batch 1 had, even with milk. We were thinking maybe like using a more developed roast for milk, which didn't work out. Like batch 1 was just the batching one.
And it was amazing. So many people here. Steve-O's connected with so many people over Instagram and that type of thing. People I don't really necessarily follow because I'm not really in the barista competition space, but absolute legends. And one of those people was Cole Toro.
From Canada. I just reached out to this guy actually. Like as soon as I heard, I just reached out to a few people asking if they're going to be in Milan, and he actually didn't reply. So I was like, okay, I'm no one from South Africa. Like we met in Joburg like 2 years ago. He probably doesn't remember me. And when was this? Like the day before competition, like 22nd. We were accidentally sitting on the stand watching someone compete, and Cole came up to me. He's like, hey dude, like, I'm glad that you're here, like, how you feeling, all of that. And we just had like cool conversation. And that night he sent me a DM saying, well, if you're keen, like, if you need anything, let me know. If you need me to come and taste coffee, like, I'm happy to do that. And he spent the whole like hour and a half with us, like tasting coffee, giving feedback and input, just lending his palate to us, which has been so valuable.
So for those of you who don't know, on the competition stage, you're presenting an idea, you're presenting a coffee, and you're also presenting flavor notes, and nailing those flavor notes is vitally important. And what I really enjoyed was, for me personally as a roaster, like Cole enjoyed the coffee, like he was very happy with the coffee. We all like agreed on the same batch easily, and I think we're quite calibrated in flavor notes.
Definitely, and the same recipe, like the recipe that I had in mind for this coffee is kind of contradicting to what people kind of use on a world stage. So you look at a lot of videos, you watch it, and you hear their recipes, and it's not how I would normally approach a coffee, and or how I would approach this coffee specifically. And I just think like approaching that from a get-go, you all kind of like, that's the one, that's the recipe.
The texture was out of this world. Like Cole actually suggested telling the judges to like swirl the espresso for a while in their mouths,
Which I forgot.
because it was like an afterthought anyway. But the texture, the body of this coffee is just so coating. I think that's the word that we were using, and the finish was like forever. If I think about it, I can still taste it. But I think we were all happy with the coffee. There were tons and tons of nerves. Oh my goodness. I was like a nervous wreck trying to talk Steve-O down from being a nervous wreck. It was not a good combination.
It's like pacing up and down.
We literally paced your entire set up and down next to the practice machine. So
That's like twice.
But it's an amazing thing. You walked on stage and got yourself organized.
Yeah.
And what happened? Like you just wanted to feel.
The main thing on stage for me was making sure the coffee tastes great. Firstly, to make sure you didn't forget anything on a trolley or backstage, which thankfully did not happen. And then the coffee tasted great. So as soon as I tasted the coffee, I was like looking up and I saw Dario. I was just like, this is it, man. The way the coffee.
We just had a little nod, really. Like,
And we were like, cool, we're in the zone. The coffee is tasting the way it tasted backstage, which is incredible. So I can use the same flavor notes that we tasted backstage and that I memorized now. And it worked into the speech. And
nectarine, caramelized pineapple, blood orange, and espresso.
this flavor becomes
Custard, stewed peach, and
mandarin.
no brew, malt.
Malt, and then
In the milk drink, and then we had jasmine,
Malt.
mandarin,
yeah,
orange blossom in the
That's the one.
drink. It's in my head forever, bro.
that's the one. So super thankful that the coffee tasted really great. So on stage, I think the beginning, like just before, after setup time, I was super nervous, like really nervous. I haven't felt as dizzy like that, like in my life. I think I felt like I might pass out, but I did not.
That would be fun.
A knockout. See, I'll go from team Steam to team knockbox. Anyways, so set started really well. I think the judges I think they appreciated it. Like a few fun comments, and I started the set with "What a time to be alive." And I've seen just a few people really catching on to that phrase, which I think is great.
We certainly have.
We definitely did, yeah. So I think the reason for that was not, it's not necessarily the theme, but it is definitely the catchphrase, which I really was intentional about. And I mean, without speaking about COVID, you can just say "What a time to be alive," and that kind of encapsulates everything. You're saying a lot with that. So that was my aim, and I also finished with that, but in a different context. So if you haven't, check out the link, I'm sure, and watch the set. You'll understand more. So practically in the set, I built everything up to the espresso moment. Really set it up for a sensory, almost chill, intentionally pause moment. And as soon as I stopped the one set of espressos, the scale gave me a reading that it did not before that. So it was 50 something. I was like, this is not going to be great. I looked at the volume, these cups versus that, and it definitely didn't add up. So, and I know espresso, for those of you who don't know, espresso is the highest scoring thing on your whole competition sheet. So if I'm going to do well, I need to score well on espresso. That's the aim. And the texture is incredible, and with that, I won't score well on texture. So I made the split. I had to make a split second decision to either serve that and be in time, or not serve it and be professional and like remake it. So, and I chose the latter, which I would choose again. But that put me under pressure for the rest of the entire set.
Interestingly,
regarding time, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Interestingly, I've spoken to at least 3 people who were sitting in the stands watching, and they didn't even notice that Steve-O had to remake his espressos. And I think the reason is because we were watching some other competitors, and when they make a mistake, you can visually see that something's gone wrong, and they're normally thrown. And I think you clicked into another gear, bro. Like you were just like, I have to remake these espressos, and I need to move fast. Yeah. And you did it so quickly that hardly anyone even noticed that something went wrong. And I was standing with Patrick Rolfe at the time that it happened, and he was like, he said to me, is Steve-O resting his espressos before serving them? I'm like, no. And my first thought was that you had actually forgotten to serve them, and you were making your milkshakes.
Come and get your espresso.
In the spirit of community, come and fetch.
Hey boy, come here. Joking.
So yeah, that was amazing. I think you did really, really well there. And you're under time pressure, but like the process of remaking a set of espressos took probably a minute, maybe longer, and you were 38 seconds over. So you did make up a bunch of time, which was really good.
Yeah, so I think in essence I'm super happy with everything. Obviously, like, it would have been nice to be in time. That was the one thing I did not want, is to go over time.
And funnily, I said to Jordan before, I was like, he said to me, so many competitors have been going over, and I was like, Steve-O will not be going over time. He has assured me. But we didn't count on having to remake coffee.
We did not. It's a plan for the worst, guys. So yeah, but I mean, in context and even in retrospect, I would still remake those espressos. I'm super keen to get feedback from the judges, which is happening tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So keen to get feedback on like the flavor and how we approached it, and then to see, you know, where I can improve going forward. So from the coffee to the set to the flavor notes, there's so much to learn, obviously, and I think that's the great thing. I mean, like, even in informal conversations that we've been having with other coffee pros, Instagram handles now that like have a face behind it. I mean, like the informal conversations have been so valuable already.
Who have you enjoyed meeting the most?
Just like, well, obviously the time with Cole has been amazing. Because it was so intentional. We weren't in a context there of like fanboy. We were like working together, and I think that was incredible. And I'm sure you'll agree the time with Patrick Rolfe.
Patrick's been awesome.
Was really, really good. The time with the guys from Comandante.
Yeah, geez, we met
Joe McTaggart.
Okay, so Joe, and then Raphael. Jesus, blank. I'm like, Rolf, no. So Raphael this morning, so he's one of the founders of Comandante Hang Grinders, and yeah, it was actually such a cool experience. But I see he's followed us now, and like they're really keen to like make coffee better, and that's how Comandante was born. And it's so cool, like, it's a small business, you know, you have these insecurities, and you speak to them, and they're like, oh my gosh, like now today I'm wearing a Comandante t-shirt, like, oh my gosh, you're wearing a t-shirt, that's amazing.
People actually like our stuff.
Yeah, like anyway, as you guys know, everybody loves Comandante, and they still can't believe that everybody loves Comandante, which is baffling to me. But then again, as a business owner, I still wonder, like, why the heck do people buy the Bluebird merch? Why would you want to wear our brand on your clothes? But like,
that's it.
It's sick, bro.
That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So,
who have you liked chatting with?
Geez, I've enjoyed definitely Cole.
Yeah.
You know, like, we went to wash cups after tasting the coffees, and I had an opportunity to say to him, like, don't sugarcoat it. How does this coffee hold up on the world stage? And his feedback was that he's tasting more complex coffee on the world stage, but that's not always a good thing. He said the clarity, sweetness, and texture of this coffee was out of this world, and definitely a world level coffee. And for me as a roaster, that's like, it's good feedback to get. We're very isolated in South Africa, which is what I keep saying to everybody does, that we're so isolated. And we really are. There's so few people doing a good job, unfortunately, and I'll put it out there, it's just the truth, that it's hard to calibrate against what's happening on a global level. And you come here and it's like, in one room, you've got like 10 of the best roasteries in the world. And it's been really cool to connect with other roasters on that level. We're also just like, again, washing cups with Matthias from Mame.
Yes, that's incredible.
That was sick, dude.
Like chatting about green coffee in Kenya specifically. Just a shout out to Martin Shabaya from Kenya. What a champ!
Goosebumps, bro.
Oh, what an animal! Yeah, I think that was cool. Like just doing washing dishes across Matthew.
Yeah.
Chatting about Kenya and like where things are going, and I know you guys as Bluebird like really interested in direct trade and fair trade and like ethical trade regarding the coffee, and he's sharing the same values and actually doing it.
He's actually doing it, and the connection that you've got to a farmer, the connection that he's got to that same farmer, and the work that they've done already in trading could open up some interesting doors. So
it's amazing.
Kenya becoming a partner. So that was really cool. I think he's also very new to roasting, so they've been roasting for 2 years, and they've obviously got massive experience on the cafe front and on the competition stage, and to get to pick his brain, and it was really cool. We got into a business discussion around margins, and it was cool, man. Like I enjoyed that. It was a good time.
I think one more person that I really enjoyed meeting for a completely different reason was Frida Jan, competing in Cup Tasters for UK, and she doesn't like regard herself at all. Like if you follow her on social media, she doesn't see herself as this like coffee person, and I was stupid enough to, stupid good, buying her book Sip and Slurp, like it's a sensory book that she released, just like a few tips, and like the first chapter she writes about her approach in terms of mindset, almost like a vision for being in sensory and using that as a positive tool. And I think this year she's focusing a lot on like almost like mental preparation for a competition, and how everything can get so cloudy, and she's following a different approach this year, and speaking to her about that and just like encouraging her with that, she's like really appreciated that. Just almost like I felt like I was affirming her in that moment, because it's meant so much to me, and I know there are more people like that out there, so please don't stop sharing, because we're thankful, and please don't stop. So that was a really cool, almost like an inverted conversation, but it was so cool.
We just met Enrico from La Mazzocca. He actually was involved in developing the Strata EP, which happens to be the machine that we want to get for the new roastery and for the new cafe. So yeah, man, it's been a great time. Where are we going now?
Time to now go and get a PCR test. Get it up the nose. Being all nosy and stuff. So to go back to South Africa, flying back tomorrow evening, and you are heading to
Berlin.
What are you going to do there?
So being in Europe, it's I don't know, as a roastery, like we have been fortunate to achieve a lot in the last 3 years, and I think there's like this opportunity now where our team is developing to the point where we can take on new challenges, and we're building a new roastery cafe, doing all these things, and I want to gain inspiration and clarity around what's next for us as a business. And I'll be meeting with Rolf from the barn on Wednesday morning. We're going to meeting. Just to pick his brain and just to connect, and then just cruising around Five Elephants, Bonanza, Roastery, and just trying to I don't know, just trying to formulate a picture of where we're going from here. Like if you get influenced by the local market, we won't go in a direction that I'm very excited about. So we need to look internationally. We need to look at what's going on in the bigger markets. And why Berlin? Well, I don't know. It was like basically anywhere in Europe. I just wanted to go somewhere else. I couldn't stay in Italy, unfortunately, because of our travel restrictions. But I reached out to a few people, to Winelbo, Rolf, a few different people, and Tim was in Colombia. I would have gone to Norway instead, without a doubt, to meet him. He's in Colombia, and Rolf was actually in Dubai. He only gets back tomorrow night, and then he said he's keen to meet. So one meeting, and then just cruising around. So a lot of money to spend for a meeting, but we're not here to mess around. We want to do things on a high level, and we need inspiration to do that. So I feel very responsible right now. Like we've got a whole team at home waiting for me to come back to decide on the future of the Bluebird. And I don't know all the answers, but we certainly are looking for them. So man.
I think that kind of ties in with what I'm thinking is coming back from like an event like this and everything that we've learned and we've seen and the conversations we've had, to go back and like innovate on a level that hopefully takes the people and the places where we go in different areas of industry, it grows it, it takes it forward, and I think that's so important. So you obviously going and spending time with other roasters and maybe having like difficult conversations for the sake of innovating like visionary like leadership for Bluebird itself, but also for your wholesale partners and people that's willing to work together with you. And I think that's a cool thing. It's uncomfortable, but it's a good thing. And I feel that same thing. So responsibility, yes, for your team, but also for, I want to say, it's going to sound weird, like it's not a industry, but it's like a massive part of it, and whoever's willing to share in that, I think that's important. So
it would be much easier for us at this stage to become like super comfortable. We're actually like big enough that we can just like continue pushing quality, growing organically, and those types of things. And yet somehow I just feel like bored of the idea of doing that. Might be good financially, but if all we're going to do is make money in our lives, what the heck is the point? So I'm personally on a personal journey at the moment and searching for purpose in business and for direction, and we want to be involved in the industry on a larger scale, not just like in one part of one country. You look at guys like Tim Winelbo and Patrick Rolf and what they're doing, and it's like they're influencing the industry, and I find that super exciting and influential. Super exciting and inspiring, I suppose. So, I'm pumped, man. It's going to be a good time. I am like, I'm going to Berlin on my own now. Like, it's been so much fun hanging out, man. We've had some good bromance dinners.
all the romantic dinners with some really cool Italian pizza.
That's all we need to, man.
What else?
We've literally, I think every meal. So there's a little junkie cafe here. Like we've had some, what's it called? Mortadella. Yeah. And then we've had pizza everywhere else.
And Nutella croissants.
Breakfast.
That's it.
But we've been walking like crazy. Yeah. Yes.
It's like 20,000 plus steps a day.
Yeah, easily.
But getting rid of the dad bods. Watch out.
Brad Pitt Fight Club. Right.
Patrick Rolf.
Yeah, but anyway, dude, from my perspective, thanks for having me along for the ride. It's been a hell of a time. It's a hell of a time to be alive. Well done, man. Super proud of you. Freaking smashed it, man.
Thanks, dude.
That set came across. Can't wait for the feedback to me.
So the time was a bit longer, but we're still alive.
What a long time to be alive.
What has been a long time to be alive. Anyway, dude, same here. I think So you guys get to see a bit of romance. Like, it was really cool having you with me. So thanks for all the work, and yeah, thanks for a great coffee and like and to you guys back home. I'm sure you guys also followed the Bluebird story, you know, and our story here in Milan. So I think it's been incredible. Thanks for your messages. I haven't even gotten back to everything yet. So just thank you so much for everything. Really appreciate all of you guys, and keep working at it.
Yeah. So to wrap up, great time, great pizza, great coffee, great people, and we're just happy to be here competing. Not just happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely.
We brought the heat, man.
So again, what a time.
If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please consider doing that. We're going to be releasing a lot of interesting content around brewing. Certainly the like behind the scenes stuff that happens in the roastery is also a focus for us. We want to share that with you, bring you into our space, and get to know the team and what we do. So yeah, like, comment anything you want to know, any videos you'd like to see us making, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.